So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BASSmint. We're in the basement. That's BASSmint. In Reggie Canty's house, we're doing another one of our bass roundtables. This time we have a special guest. Tell us your name, sir.
Mike Griffin with Essential Sound Products.
Mike Griffin, Essential Sound. I met you at the Bass Fest, and we talked about Essential Sound Products. One particular product, which was one of your power cables, right?
Yeah, the MusicCore Pro.
Right. Got any with you here, Dave?
Absolutely. I got all three versions here. This nice red one is the Gerald Veasley signature version. Gerald actually picked the colors, and if you look at the label, it might be kind of hard to see, but it's actually got his signature on it. And there's a purple one, which is the Victor Wooten signature version.
Oh, we got that, right?
Got it right here. It's like a rich purple color that Victor chose the color. If you guys didn't know, anybody has seen him that, you know purple is his favorite color. Again, it's got his signature on there. And then we have the standard black, which is actually plugged into the amp. All three are the same price, just a personal preference. If you like, either one of the signature chords or the standard black.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about your chords in a second. But I want to acknowledge some of the other people that's hanging out in the basement. You know how we do this. We try to do this once a month, and we are in the basement with us. Tell us your name, sir.
Oh, I'm Grove Tig, GT, Sir Slap Nasty.
Yeah, what's happening, bro?
Oh man, everything is real cool, dude.
And got your bass with you?
I do. I have like 3 of them with me, man.
Oh, we're gonna talk to you. We're gonna have to pull them out. And next to you, could you tell us your name?
My name is Sarah Davis.
Sarah Davis. That's my maiden name, Davis.
I said.
Your main name?
Yeah. It's hard for a dude to have a maiden name, but this is what I say. Before my mother married, her name was Davis, and since I was born before they were married, which makes me a bastard, my name was Davis. So that's why I say my maiden name.
Okay.
And next to him is one of my favorite alumni in the basement, Mr. Parker Klein. How you doing, bro?
Doing good.
You doing good? And next to Parker, who do we have here?
Adam Brode.
Adam Brode.
Yep.
Next to him,
James Formay.
James Formay. Next to him,
Mike Green.
Mike Green. And we also have
Don Max.
another basement alumni now. And just in from all the way from Ohio, one of our favorite Ohio bass players in the house hanging out with us. What's up, Tiny?
How you doing, man? Dwayne Tiny Jones in the house.
All the way from
Cleveland.
all the way from Cleveland, showing some love.
Okay. It's
More
all
love
right.
here than that.
And, ladies and gentlemen, anytime you guys want to chime in and ask some questions, please do. Plus, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I've been to your site. I've interviewed you before at the Bass Fest 2012.
Yeah.
And some discussion goes on about your cable, whether it's worth it or not. First of all, could you tell me how much the cable is?
Standard price for a 2-meter length, which is about 6.5 feet, is $200.
Okay.
And what I can tell you about it is there's a lot of handwork. Everything that you see, the cord, the bag, everything is made in America. We don't make the least expensive, but we make the best.
Right, I believe.
Practically indestructible. It's actually built to hospital grade grade standards and lifetime warranty. Comes in the bag. Let's see here. Here's an example of the bag, and I mean this is like a waterproof, luggage quality bag.
Lift it up so I can see it.
Also made in America.
Uh-huh.
This is the Gerald Veasley cord goes in there.
Right.
But, and it comes with the cord wrap.
Okay, now I see a checkbook over there. I'm not going.
Well, I'm
gonna just get on it for a second.
Let me comment with you about the price, okay? Here's it's a difficult sell to people who have never bought a power cord, because you can get a power cord for free with your amp, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do you need to spend more money to buy another power cord?
Right.
I mean that's the thing. I think if you give it a try, you will hear a difference in the sound. And if you look at the investment that you've made in your instruments, your amplifiers, and other things, and you hear how much difference this cord makes, it's like you're compromising your investment if you don't get the cord. Once you see how much better it can sound, you know,
It's a huge difference.
It's a component. It's not a commodity. It's a component.
Right.
So
Okay, well we gonna actually do a test on this product here soon. We did it earlier, right, Reg? You had your standard power cord on your Mark bass.
Right.
We listened to it, then we plugged in
It's cool.
Mike Griffin's cord,
yeah.
and it was a huge difference, right?
It was.
Now we're gonna do that. You mind doing that again, just for
I just
people?
want to add one thing I want to ask. You said you said you got a one cable inside there for every conductor.
No, you know what? I can show that. Here's a sample. I'll pass it around again. But this is a sample what the cord looks like inside. And a standard power cord would have 3 conductors, okay? Line, neutral, and ground, okay?
Right.
This cord has 4 line and 4 neutral conductors, and then an oversized ground down the center, okay? They're spiraled, and then there's a jacket over the conductors. Then there's a heavy-duty shield, braided copper shield, and then the outer jacket and the sleeving. Now, the reason why we use these small conductors is that you need that small conductor to get the clarity, okay? Because it's all about transient speed, okay? My whole focus when I was designing this was about getting the current there fast, okay? But the smaller the conductor, the less current it flows, okay? So to build up the capacity, these multiple conductors in parallel.
So it's almost like it's self-regulating then.
Not self-regulating,
the
but
power.
it's kind of like taking the strength of the cord that you get. The 18 gauge cord is pretty good from a phase standpoint or tonal clarity standpoint. It's just a bottleneck. It's just like choking your amp, you know.
That's what I mean.
But if you get this big cord like this, 14 gauge, you'll hear that your amp will sound like it's got more power, but the bass is gonna be loose. And it's because of them big conductors cause phase distortion. So it's kind of like taking the strength of this and the strength of that and putting it together in one cord.
You got a 2-lane highway, now you're making a 4-lane.
There you go. There you go. Yep.
got to be allowed for more
And the
power.
shield, which is, you know, it's amazing to me. All the other cord cables you can get nice high quality shielded cables. Why they don't shield power cables for audio, I don't know. But it seemed like it's a prerequisite. Just to give you an example, one of the things that this does for you. If you've ever been someplace you play, they got fluorescent lighting, and you get a
Yes.
hum, it's because of the ballast in the fluorescent lighting, okay? This shield will kill that. You will not get that hum, okay? The construction, I mean, there's a lot of things, little things, like, I didn't bring a see-through, but the conductors, they're actually hand soldered, okay? They're crimped and hand soldered, okay? So you're not gonna get, like, even if you pull on the cable, it's not going to loosen up that joint and give you a buzz or something like that. I mean, it's just really, you got to pretty much run a truck over these things to damage them. You know, we built them.
I was just trying to turn the corner, plug it in, and I said, "Oh,
It's a little stiff.
it's heavy. It's a very heavy cable." I know that's the first thing I noticed when you said that you had each conductor done separately, and I says, "Oh, that means you got
Yeah.
shielding around each one."
No, all together. Then we put a jacket. Then we put the shield. And you know, it's a little subtlety in this design. The reason why we have a jacket over the conductor before we put the shield, because if you put that shield right down on those conductors,
Yeah.
it exacerbates the bass. Okay, in the mid bass region, like 120 cycles around there, it actually you get a hump. So by spacing it away, you know, a little bit of space makes a big difference in terms of interaction. Okay, so by having the multiple conductors, the field around each one is weaker than a single solid. I know we're getting into a little tech talk, but then that plus the shield, and it works pretty well.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I got it.
Grove got a question.
Yeah, I heard you saying earlier that it was for all audio.
Yeah,
You know, anything
You're
that has
just
a power
basically
cord.
concentrating because if you
I'm
can
actually
get the bass.
an audiophile.
Yeah.
I don't play an instrument. I got 2 girls that play piano though, so you know the non-player stuff.
It
me
will
and my
work
wife.
for a computer that
But,
has a plug-in.
how does-
Absolutely,
It will work for
absolutely.
anything.
How
that
does
has a
this
power.
one differ from that homemade, the man-made one that you said is the top
Not a
of
lot
the
from
line?
an engineering standpoint. I mean, I've refined it over the years, but that basic multi-conductor design that I came up with in the early 90s, there it is.
Okay.
I mean, you know, this cord, we were talking about this right before we started recording, but, if you go to my company website, Essential Sound Products, by the way, there's 3 tiers of products, okay? There's a top-of-the-line product that, you guys will say it's outrageously cost. And it is. From your perspective, it's $2,000. It's outrageous, okay?
What is that?
It's called the Essence.
What, it's a cable?
It's a power cable.
It costs $2,000?
$2,000.
Way out of my budget.
Here's the thing. That's the cable that I'm still hand terminating. And that cable, even though the engineering is very similar, all the materials are different, okay? So everything is done to the nth degree, and it's going to audiophiles who, they're like any hobbyist, okay? If you get real passionate about your hobby and you have the means, you might spend a lot more than somebody else would. And that's how audiophiles are about their stereo stuff, So anyway, but it's that cable that I actually started making in the early 90s that I basically knocked off. Okay, this cable, some of the basic differences are, obviously it's mass produced, that gets the cost down quite a bit. The conductors, the line and neutral conductors in the top line cable are actually solid, and this cable is stranded, because you want to have a lot more flex life, and you need to have stranded conductors. But the basic geometry is a knockoff from that top of the line cord. And we do not dumb these products down or anything like that. We make this product as best we can with the process that we use. We just, make it more straightforward than all the little things we can tweak with, the other cable.
Right. Well,
So they're engineered for 2 different purposes. The top line cord isn't even engineered for musicians, because again, that flex life, you wouldn't want to use that cable day to day and setting up and tearing down stuff like that, because it's not going to last that long. Whereas the guy got a stereo system, he puts it in there one time and leaves it alone.
So you're talking about Krill, Macintosh, those guys.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm thinking maybe Mark Levinson and
Mark
and
Levinson.
Manley.
And who
Those
else?
kind of Manley.
Manley, yep.
Those kind of people.
You know some of those names, right? Those are audiophile companies. That's where they started anyway.
It's like, $10,000 turntable. That's what
That's low end.
That's low end. Exactly. It really is. He's right.
It's like, I liken it to, I call it men's toys in general, whether it's sports cars or jewelry or what else have I seen, boats, you name it. If somebody got the money to spend, somebody will make something for it. Believe it or not, that $2,000 cord, it is meant to compete against anything else in the world at any price. Relative to my competition, it's less expensive than all of my competition. When you're talking about the best in the world, and I'll put that cord up against anything. It's been reviewed, the Essence cord has been reviewed by most every top audiophile magazine, at least in America, a lot of them in the world, more than any others, and it has stood up well. And I just keep refining. That's kind of like my Corvette, if you will. You do your learnings and refining, and then it comes down into your other products.
Okay. Well, why?
Yeah.
When did you start making cables, and why?
Okay. I bought this. This is pretty good. You guys got time. This is a good little story. I'll tell you how I got to this business. Okay. I was working at General Motors. Okay. And I had this really bad assignment. I had taken over, I was working on the Olds 88 and 98. I'll try to make this quick. Olds 88 and 98, the IP, the instrument panel that goes in the front of the car, I was a release engineer for that. I picked it up midstream, a guy was retiring. So nobody really knew how bad things were. And I got it and it was a mess, okay? So it was kind of a high stress situation, right? So my hobby is being an audiophile. I had bought this tube preamplifier. It was the first piece of tube gear I bought, okay? And my preconception was tubes are not reliable, okay? But people sold me on the idea that tubes, they just sound more musical because their distortion is even order distortion, which blends in with the music. Whereas solid state distortion is odd order, it stands out from the music, okay? So that was the whole catch here. Okay, had a detachable power cord. First component I had the cord I could take off. So I had a friend here that said, man, I got this cord here. It's a piece of Romex wire like you put in the wall. And he put a plug connector. He said, man, you gotta try this thing. And I'm like, yeah, right, because I'm an engineer now. This don't make no sense, okay? But what the hell, I'll try it. I tried it, and damn if it didn't sound different. And it wasn't all good, but it was different. And I'm like, this just shouldn't be, and I'm, there's no music, no signal going through the power cord. How can this be, right? So because I was in this bad assignment of work, I just dove into this as a diversion. I swear to God, it was no idea about starting a company like that. Just a diversion from work. and I tinkered with it for about 6 months, trying different stuff. Pulled my physics books out. I'm really getting into this. So okay, they used to have the summer CES in Chicago in the 90s. They were still doing that. I drive to Chicago to go to the show, and I meet the owner of the company that made that preamplifier. So we get to talking, and I tell him about the power cord. And the light just went on. For some reason, this guy was just very intrigued by this, right? So, long story short, I do a barter deal. I said, give me a backup set of tubes, right? Because I'm thinking reliability issues, right? I want a backup set of tubes. I'll give you a set of these cords, okay? So we do the barter deal, and I don't hear from the guy for a couple months. I mean, he sends the tubes, but nothing out of the guy, So then, like early fall, I get a call. He says, I was damn near ready to take these cords out. They sounded like crap, but then they sounded pretty good. He said, I really like these, And that winter, his product wins Product of the Year in Stereophile, which is one of the top audiophile magazines. So he says, Mike, I'm taking your cords to Vegas. I'm putting them in my system. So Mike jumps on the plane, goes out to the CES, and I meet all the press because he got the Product of the Year. Everybody's coming into his room. And that's how the thing started. I meet the guys, and one guy say, "Can I get something to do a review?" Sure, bam, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. But I kept working at GM for another 10 years, okay, because I was a lot younger. I really had kind of stumbled into this, So I didn't really get serious about it till I decided to leave GM in 2005, and I was still making that one single chord, okay. All this other stuff like the Music Cord Pro that we're here listening to, that was all engineered after I left GM. I wanted to mass produce it, wanted to make sure I could get the safety approvals and all that stuff. So it took a couple years to get that done actually. And launched it in 2007 under a different name, a little higher price point, and it didn't work. Relaunched it, came up with the Music Cord name, relaunched it in 2008. And it started getting traction, okay? So I get my first review in Bass Musician magazine, very first review in October 2008.
I saw that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's when the stock market crashed. You remember Lehman Brothers went out, and it's like the bottom was falling out. It's like, if you're going to start a business, that was the worst time you could possibly pick, but you can't predict the future. So, I've been just keeping, pushing on. It's been, the product's been reviewed by a lot of guitar and bass magazines. If you look on the website, there's reviews from guitar player, bass musician. I don't know, it's probably half dozen to a dozen reviews on just the Music Cord Pro.
Okay, well let me ask you, who are some of the people that use your cables?
Got to start right at the top with Victor Wooten. He has been my biggest longtime supporter. He basically endorsed the product when nobody even knew about it. I would say Victor put it on the map. Because once he took an interest and said, hey, you guys need to check this out, people were curious. They at least said, damn, Victor likes it. At least I'll check it out. Close number 2, Gerald Beasley. Both Victor and Gerald have been extremely generous in terms of, their time and putting their name. I have a Victor Wooten and Gerald Beasley cord, each one signature models that they have, just honored me really to put their name on our product, So I can't thank them enough, but it doesn't stop there.
I'm sure it's a whole bunch that we hadn't heard of.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that you have heard of. There's a lot of other guys that that just haven't officially endorsed it. You pretty much name who you want to. Almost everybody using that cord, as far as full-time professionals, top guys. But if they ain't on the site, I'm not naming nobody. Okay.
Well, we're gonna have to go to your site, and again, how could we reach you on your site?
It's at essentialsound.com. And I spell it out as ESSENTIAL, the word essential, and sound, SOUND, all, straight.com.
Okay, cool, man. Now we're gonna actually put this cord to the test right quick. Now in the house, like I said, we got a bunch of bass players, and we're gonna listen to this cord, and we're gonna tell the truth, right? Okay, so right now Reggie is what cable you have in there now, Reg?
Okay, I've got his. I want to try my cable in there first.
Okay, we're gonna put the regular old cable in there first. Of course, I'm a fast forward.
Oh yeah, that's good.
No, I shouldn't even fast forward. Should I?
Hey man, what happened to the other one?
What's that? What's that?
The other one. The red one.
Oh, here they are.
No, it was a red one though. It wasn't black. Blue.
Where's the red one?
Maybe did you get it back?
Is Guy Warren?
I'm just passing them around the
See
room.
Guy Warren?
See, that's my problem. Because if I got a $200 cord
Stepping
or
on that
more on
stand.
my amp, I need a security guard.
Well, you know, if you get a red one, you'll never miss it.
That's true.
Nobody is gonna have a red cord. You know, I mean, very few. Nobody can say, "Oh, I mistook this for mine." Just nah, you
You just see James' face and say,
Now, the funny thing about this is that Reggie is taking a little time to put this together. So if I were to cut this for viewers' sake, then they're gonna say that I edit something. You know what I'm saying? We edited.
Right.
So I'm gonna leave the tape rolling,
There you go.
and then if I have to, I'll speed it up.
Okay, I don't know what I got to set on, but I'm gonna use the same setting I used to test
Okay.
this cable.
Okay, so right now, what power cord are we listening
I'm
to?
listening to my standard power cord that I got with my Mark Bass Red.
The one that came with the
One
app.
that came with the amp.
Okay, let me just hear open E and open B.
Open E. Open B.
Okay, now switch them
Okay, now let's
before I
switch
forget what that sound like. Okay, so again, we leaving the tape rolling. He about to put in. Let me see what it look like first.
This is the end of the other one.
That's a huge mambo right
it
there.
looked like you pulled a cobra out from back.
Yeah.
Anaconda cable.
Real black mamba.
Okay.
I actually have a competitor that has a cable called the
Okay, so now you have the other one plugged in.
an audiophile lad, you know.
Just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, he named all at the same.
It's loud, yeah.
That's the E.
Oh, noticeable enough. More air being moved on this.
Oh, okay, now tell me what you've experienced with this cable as opposed to the other cable. Just to explain it to me. What's the difference between the
This
two?
one, it seems to allow the amp to run. I actually had to dial back to get the same response that I did when I had my own cable in here.
Uh-huh.
You know,
So that one's got more power.
I think
What else?
I think it just transfers more power.
Uh-huh. What else you notice about it?
It was clearer. I didn't get that hum. I didn't get the overtone hum.
So that's why you got the checkbook out.
Well, as you can see, the check is already prepared.
A few other things you can explain.
I would show the checkbook or the transaction, but you know how
Well, you can do that as long as you got editing equipment in the house.
I got some blur equipment.
Okay, all right.
I got some blur equipment. Now I'm just to keep it real. What did you think about the difference, GT?
It's a huge difference. I went on the site when I was first introduced to his products months ago, and now hearing it for myself, I'm blown away. It's for real.
Right. So all of those people that debate on the website about and the blogs about it's not worth it. It's not a difference. There is a difference, right?
Oh yeah, if you
difference.
spending $120 on gym shoes, you can
Right.
spend some money on this doggone. Yeah, if you ain't playing basketball for the NBA and you spending that money, you can do this.
Yeah. What you think, Parker? Notice it.
Me personally, I'm not going to make an actual decision on what I heard until it's double blind, where we don't know which one's which. That's just my 2 cents.
Your 2 cents is welcome. In fact, you want to do 4 cents. Okay. So what do you fellas think about it?
I thought it was a lot more of a difference than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different range. Yeah, I heard a little bit more coming out of that second one.
Yeah, my ear heard it.
It was warmer. It was almost.
What do you think, Donnie?
I'm going to speak just from a little bit more technical advantage. When I asked him about whether or not that it regulated its own power. In essence, what it is doing is allowing the power to flow better. Because a lot of times most cords constrict power and stop the power from flowing. So automatically the amp reading, when you have a sound company, if you ever notice, they throw out their own power boxes for you to plug in because they have a condition. In my studio, I use a power conditioner to keep my power rating at the same rating for everything working and the same power output. And it kind of sounds to me, what I heard was the power coming through better.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all it sounds. It sounds like the power is working better,
Your
more
peaks,
consistent.
like, you can tell when your
Right.
peaks bleed off.
It
You playing something hard,
sounds
your
more
peaks bleed
consistent.
off.
That's all I heard.
But I noticed with him, it would stay there a little bit longer.
Stain. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It would stay
And the
there
B had a lot more
it had a little more, moved a little bit more area
cojones to it.
to me.
Yeah,
To me.
but that's a
And I
power
ain't trying to
thing.
say that just because you DBP, man. I don't buy nothing. I don't know about nobody else's endorsement. I don't trust nobody else's research but my
You know, a lot of
own.
people are gonna see this and they're gonna say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's what it sounds
No,
like.
well, you know, I can assure you that it ain't, because I wouldn't spend
I appreciate
$150
what
for a
you said.
cable when I
I
got
hear it.
50,000.
more
You
cables.
got cables hanging all over the house. So.
over there.
I got the
But
studio
what I
here, so
noticed
I hear
is,
every
I didn't
different
set it or
change and
anything, but
Yeah,
I noticed
that's
that I would be
how
able
it
to dial
affected me.
down
I
to
just
get the
heard a
same
better
response
flow
that I would
of the sound.
get
I didn't, you know.
with the other instrument. I
sound
didn't
like
have to
it's
send a
flowing.
stronger signal to the amp that I normally send. I just had the bass just
And you know,
just to send a little bit to see
yeah,
how much it
we
would handle
talk,
just
we
a
talk
little
like
bit
the
of
chords
it.
doing it, but it's really you're hearing how good your amp really is.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
before it's like, damn, I'm not getting my money's worth out of my amp. You know, when you hear the difference, it's like, how can it be the amp could be that much better?
I had to
And that
ask myself the
chord
same
is just
question. Yeah, I had to ask
The
myself
thing I'm
that
digging is how it cuts out the
that
buzz.
little
The
whisk.
buzz.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, now,
The
what
better
is
the
that?
installation, the better the installation.
and it's shielded.
Okay,
It's heavily
shielded.
shielded.
Yeah,
It's
it's
solid.
not
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah.
It's got a heavy shield on it. That helps a lot.
It's a beast of a cable.
Yeah.
Do you do speaker cables too?
You do endorsements for
Not right
bass
now.
players?
I am working on other cables, but we don't have anything else out right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got a $50,000
So I believe your
question.
speaker cable would be
Yeah,
great
sure.
for people to do
Sure.
piggybacking.
And I'm
Yeah,
thinking
in fact,
about.
that's the first one I'm working on. Actually, is it go between the head and the cabinet?
Oh no! Somebody that uses dual cabinets
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
because he got a
Okay.
choice now. He can run them parallel. He can run them in sequence. He can get no bleed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Both
a
of
lot
them
of
had the
times,
advantages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
if you
right
got
now I
one
just have
speaker on one
AC
side of the stage
I am
and
working
another
on
on the other
stuff,
side,
you
you
know,
run into those kind of issues.
Oh, sweet.
See what's coming later.
So how do I play it out where I'm running a power amp and preamp?
Uh huh.
Usually the power amp has a fixed cable. How do I?
Well, a couple options. One, we make a power strip, and even if you use a stock cord, you plug it into like our power strip because it's got the hardwired Music Cord Pro. You still get most of the performance benefit, okay? Because that cord is really designed to be a filter, okay? And once it works, it'll carry through at least a short distance. You get most of the benefit.
No, but
But the other way, there is another way that actually I didn't find this. A customer told me this, and I need to buy some of these because people need them. But you can get these inexpensive adapters that will adapt from like a female plug to plug in a cord
Right.
to the what's called a C14 for the connector that's on that. You get this inexpensive adapter, plug that in, and then plug the cord into that, and it's a $5 adapter or less. So you can still use it with an amp with a hardwired cord. The other thing though is we have kits for hardwire. They have the grommet, solder, everything you need. Also, if you have an amp that has a hardwire cord and you want to change it, you want to put a jack on it, we give you the jack. When you buy the cord, we give you the jack, the mounting hardware and everything, and it's a lot easier than you think. Basically it's a rectangle with 2 holes on the side. You could take the cord that's on there, cut it off, solder it to the back, put that on there. Boom, you got detachable cord on your amp.
And I don't buy.
We give that to customers when they buy it if they ask for it.
I don't gain anything by using it through the preamp alone, though. Then, right?
Actually, you would. I mean, if I were making a choice, if I had one cord and I had to put on the preamp or the power, I'd put on the preamp first. Yeah, no, the cord is not designed for just bass.
Right.
It's actually designed for full range. It works on any audio equipment. It does the exact same thing on
Exactly.
any audio equipment.
Yeah.
So
I got
gain-
studio engineers in their studios recording and stuff. They're using it either on their PCs, they use that for recording, or other devices. In large scale recording studios, first place they're putting them on are the analog to digital converters, like the DigiDesign, Avid. You know, of course, it's the first place they're putting them on because it makes better recordings.
Let me ask
So I
you.
would
Mic
gain,
pre's.
I would gain
you
through the
name it,
preamp
huh?
then.
Pardon me?
I would gain through
Oh,
the preamp.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I need to get back to this thing, and I don't know that you should have said this, but you said that you can take a $5 piece and put it in between
Yeah.
the power amp and the thing.
Right.
But isn't that what we're trying to eliminate by
Yeah, it would be
using
better
the
if you
cord?
didn't have it.
So if I'm going to use it on rack equipment, I probably have a power supply. Would it benefit me more to put it on the immediate power supply first? Number one, would that increase the flow to everything? Or am I going to run back into the constriction between the power supply and the piece of
cord,
equipment that I put it on?
It's
Because
not as good as removing that cord entirely.
Okay.
But it will work.
because
I mean,
the
I've
idea
had-
of, okay, I can buy a $5 adapter.
I had a customer actually got that and told me
out.
about it. And that's how I learned about it. And
Okay.
I don't have them myself,
Okay.
but you know, it was effective. You know,
Okay. Yeah,
but
that's
like I said, I mean,
curious.
if you because a lot of our customers they have more vintage amps and stuff. You know, they all had hardwire cords back.
Yeah.
You know, go back 20 years, 25 years. So a lot of them they want to either hardwired or that cable's kind of stiff and everything. It's,
I do
it's
like
nice
the
to be able
fact
to
that
disconnect
you
it.
offer, a conversion kit for whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
free if you buy the cord. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's
And usually, if you don't want to do it yourself, a tech, it's a not a hard. I've done it on my stereo gear. I've done it on several components that I bought.
Yeah, but the cords are free for you.
But I'm saying, I've done the modification. It's not that hard.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah.
Well, look, Mike, man,
Yeah.
we ain't want to keep you, man, but that's a very interesting conversation. And recommend people go check your site out, check out the
Essential
cord.
Sound Products.
I mean, they are refundable, right?
Absolutely. We say 30-day money back, but I never hassle anybody. If somebody's returning a product, I'd rather have a customer that's satisfied he tried it, return it, than go badmouth me because it didn't
I
refund.
think I'm friends with you on Facebook.
There's
I've checked out
lifetime
your
warranty
site
on the
already.
product, and you can see they are built to last. And we're not planning on obsolescence. We built them, people have
Okay.
for years.
And it looked like you made a sale today, did he?
Yeah, I mean, it was a difference. I had to wait and see what the difference was myself before I committed to it, but
Okay,
it's
so
a difference.
so the next, we in Reggie Cathy's basement. The next round table we do in the basement. All you bass players are welcome to come and
You can AB it yourself if you want to. I got both cables, both of them plugged in. You can AB it yourself.
right, and we can do what Parker recommend too, right? Do a blind.
Do a blind test. I won't tell them which one is plugged in.
Okay, and you welcome. I mean, we like bass players from all over. You don't have to be from Detroit. As you can see, we got my man Tiny came all the way from Ohio. So you brothers need to come and sisters need to come and hang out with us in the basement. Everybody's welcome. All skill levels. We got some heavy hitters in here, but all skill levels are welcome to come and hang out in the basement with us. So check with Reg, check with me, Big Ive, and come and hang out with us in the basement. And you never know who's going to be in here next time.
Well, and in fact, I tell you, if you want to hang out in the basement, you don't have to wait for a round table. Just let me know you want to do it.
See that? We hang anyway.
The summer is coming.
Because
That's
everybody
right.
can't
We
make
be
it
at a park
Saturday.
somewhere.
Right, that's right.
Pull up on it.
That's
Right, everybody can't make it
Everybody
Saturday.
can't make a Saturday, and it's days that people can't make it, and it's inconvenient for other people. And I'm working now, but I left it open. Oh yeah, just give me a couple of days to adjust anything I'd have to adjust. If you want to come over and do something, I mean, the longer you give me 3 or 4 days, that's enough time for me to tell some other people who might want to just jump on a short call.
Right.
We ain't got to have no whole
Round
bunch of people,
table.
huh?
Yeah.
Me, Ive, and you.
Exactly. And I mean, if you need an audience like you trying to do the kind of like a jam thing where you sit up and just play us a song, you know what I'm saying?
I'll spin up a CD and just play along with it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Taste it, pick it. That's just that simple. Do it. I don't have no whole elaborate equipment with which to do it. And if you want to do it and you don't have no equipment,
come on over here.
come bring it.
Come to the basement. That's BASSMINT. And Mike, we'd like to thank you, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah, I want to thank you too.
I want to thank
I wanna thank you, too.
Oh, wow.
There it is.
But thank you for having me over, really.
No problem, man.
It's been
No
long
problem.
overdue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and again, we're going to review it update the cable next round table. Okay.
Anybody got a question? Any other? I left the other cable plugged in. If you want to AB it yourself, you bring your stuff and plug your own bass in here.
Yeah, that's the proof. You know.
That's what I needed to have. You know, I ain't
especially-
saying to say that I needed to have it, but when I get it, you know,
Yeah.
and then I got a decision.
Perfectly understandable that people are skeptical. I was the biggest skeptic back when I first heard a power chord. I was as big a skeptic as anybody, so I appreciate it. But I just tell you, just have enough interest to try it. It'll sell itself. You know, I mean, it's like anything else you buy for audio.
Well, you didn't want
Let your ears be the judge,
You
right?
didn't want to mention some people, but there are some people in the group that already told me they got it. But you know, I ain't gonna say no names. Or anything. I ain't gonna say no names. But they said they'd already had it, and
Okay.
I said, okay, still, I don't buy acts, I don't buy gear, I don't buy nothing until I get it in my hand and try it out for
Try it
myself.
out.
I want to
Try
try
it
it
out.
myself. That's right.
Because it sounds good to you, but
Yeah.
you might not have the same
That's
kind
right.
of
Yeah.
shit that
And
I
our
need to
business,
have.
you know, because it's online, you know, that's why we got
So
the
if
30-day
you
money
give me a
back.
chance to look at it, man,
You know.
I'll give you.
Yeah, squirrel tastes good to some people, but I don't like it.